There are a lot of manga with great art. While art is subjective, here are some of the manga that, in my opinion, have the best art regardless of the quality of the manga itself. Some manga have beautiful art, but lackluster stories, like Eni Devi, while others have amazing stories, but lack a bit in the art department, like High Score Girl. In this video, we'll go through the manga that I personally find the most appealing. Please like and subscribe for more content related to the Japanese language and Japanese culture, and comment below for the algorithm. The first manga I'm going to talk about is one that's not really well known here in the West, and for good reason. It's called Eni Devi, which is short for Eniela and Deviela. And this is a 3-part manga series that hasn't been released in English yet. And it probably never will. The reason is that it's just not that good. But the art is fantastic. The manga is made by Kamome Shirahama, who also released Tongariboshi no Atelier, or Witch Hat Atelier, which is available in English. The art here is really amazing as well, but the story is much more interesting. So if you like the art here, consider picking up Witch Hat Atelier instead. Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. Kaze no Tani no Nausicaa. Now, I've heard people say Nausicaa in a lot of different ways, but I first heard of this from the Japanese word, so I've always called it Nausicaa. This is the basis for the anime of the same name by Miyazaki Hayao, and it's really the only manga he made as far as I know. The manga is also a lot darker than the anime, so you probably won't come away from this feeling as optimistic as you do after finishing the anime movie. But the art here is still fantastic, with a lot of interesting designs for both the human buildings and machines, as well as unique plants, insects, and animals. This is definitely a must-read for Ghibli fans. Number 3. The next one is Koko no Hito Climber. Koko no Hito is based on a novel by Jiro Nita and written by Shinichi Sakamoto and Yoshiro Nabeda, with Sakamoto creating the artwork. The art here really speaks for itself. There's a lot of snowy mountains and rocks, but they're all rendered beautifully, with great character art as well. Just look at these. It's really incredible. Now, another great looking manga by Shinichi Sakamoto is DRCL Midnight Children. This is based on Bram Stoker's Dracula. Now, only one volume has been released so far, but this definitely looks interesting. If you like this art style, he has also a couple more series. One is called Innocent, with a follow-up called Innocent Rouge, or Inosan in Japanese, probably from the French word. I don't speak French, so I can't really say, but I think so. These two follow a family of executioners during the French Revolution. Akira. Well, you probably have seen the anime. If you haven't read the manga, you should. The anime is of course great, but it's really just an abridged version of what the manga offers. While the characters' designs are iconic, the backgrounds here are really amazing. The detail that Neo Tokyo is rendered in is really a sight to behold. There's a reason why this manga is considered one of the all-time greats. If you haven't read it, you're missing out. Oyasumi Punpun. This is a rather grim and heart-wrenching tale about growing up. The art is beautiful in its portrayal of modern-day Japan. Despite its looks, this series is not for the faint of heart, but is still one that's often recommended, and for good reason. Check it out. Vagabond. Vagabond is based upon the novel Musashi by Eiji Yoshikawa, and it covers the life of Miyamoto Musashi. The artwork portrays the world in rich detail with really amazing art. The story and art is by Takehiko Inoue, who also wrote Slam Dunk and is currently working on Real, which is also a basketball manga, but this time with people who are in a wheelchair. Looks really great as well, but I haven't read it yet. Too many manga to read. What's so amazing about Vagabond is the action sequences as well as the environment. The fights are truly amazing to behold. They are easy to follow and will have you on the edge of your seat. One particular fight has nothing really happening movement-wise, but a lot goes on within the minds of the characters. Now, the environment is also so detailed that you must stop and admire all the effort that went into creating it. Now, while this manga isn't finished, and it probably never will be, it's still worth a read. If you care to find out what happens, you can just switch to the book and finish the story there. Now, the next entry on this list should come as no surprise: Berserk. Berserk is another manga that's so painstakingly detailed that you can't help but admire it. While Kentaro Miura's style did evolve a lot over the series, even the first books are filled with great artwork, not to mention the incredible story that you will never forget. The environments and attention to detail here are really incredible. Uzumaki. Uzumaki is a horror manga by Junji Ito, and it covers a series of stories from a fictional city called Kurozucho, and the citizens here are plagued by a series of supernatural events that involve spirals. Hence the name Uzumaki. This manga is not for everyone, but if you like horror, you can't go wrong with this 3-volume series, which is often cited as Junji Ito's magnum opus. Hideout. I've yet to see another manga that uses darkness as effectively as Hideout does. The artwork here really speaks for itself. This is another horror manga, but this one takes place on an island where an author and his wife are pinned down by heavy rain. The author then loses his job and quickly descends into madness. And that's really all I'm going to say about it. This one will really keep you on the edge of your seat. A Bride's Story, Otoyomegatari. This manga is a historical drama set in the late 19th century, near the Caspian Sea during the Russian conquest of the area. It centers on Amir, a young woman who is set to marry Karluk, a man 8 years her junior. The story follows their relationship, along with stories of other women and their lives along the Silk Road. The attention to detail here is really stunning, with a lot of detail given to the clothing here. Again, the art here really speaks for itself. Fist of the North Star, Hokuto no Ken. This is an 80s masterpiece, and it stars Kenshiro, who is the successor to Hokuto Shinken, which is a martial art that, let's just say, is very effective. It covers his travels along a nuclear wasteland where the strong prey on the weak for scarce resources. It's illustrated by Tetsuo Hara, and this manga has really been highly influential, and for good reason. It basically takes every trope from 80s action movies and turns the dial up to 11.
These go to 11.
If you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. The Girl from the Other Side, Totsukuni no Shoujo. This manga follows Shiva, a young girl who lives in an abandoned village with a demonic guardian known as Teacher. The world she inhabits is split between the inside and the outside, and those who cross over are cursed. Shiva tries to leave the teacher in order to search for her grandmother, which starts off this unique and unforgettable story. The art here is really quite different from your average manga, with more of a painterly feel, despite it being black and white. Are there any manga that I missed that you think should be on the list? Let me know in the comments below. To find out why you should learn Japanese if you love manga, watch this video next.
These go to 11.